Imagine this, in the bustling heart of a sleek corporate office, where dreams are supposed to be built and ambitions soar, a woman stands drenched in sticky soda, her crisp blouse clinging to her skin like a badge of humiliation. The fizzing Coca-Cola drips from her hair, pooling at her feet, while laughter echoes around her like thunder. But this isn't just any woman, this is Aisha Thompson, a brilliant black woman who's fought tooth and nail to earn her place in a world that often tries to push her out. And in that moment of utter degradation, as tears mix with the sugary mess on her face, she has no idea that her life is about to flip upside down in the most epic way possible. Stick around, because this story of resilience, revenge, and redemption will leave you cheering, and maybe even shedding a tear or two. Aisha had always been a fighter. Growing up in a modest neighborhood in Atlanta, she watched her single mother juggle 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. "Baby, the world ain't fair," her mom would say, braiding Aisha's hair late into the night, "but you gotta be twice as good to get half as far." Those words became Aisha's mantra. She excelled in school, earned scholarships to college, and graduated top of her class with a degree in marketing. But the real world? It was a battlefield disguised as boardrooms and coffee breaks. At 28, Aisha landed a job at Apex Innovations, a rising tech firm in New York City. It was her dream gig, creating campaigns that could change the game. Yet, from day one, the microaggressions chipped away at her spirit. Comments like, "You speak so well," or "You're not like other black people," were tossed her way like casual compliments, but they stung like barbs. Her colleagues were a mixed bag. There was Sarah, the bubbly assistant who always shared her lunch and genuinely seemed to care. Then there were the others, the mean girls, clique led by Karen and her sidekicks, Mike and Lisa. They were the type who smiled to your face but whispered behind your back. Karen, with her perfectly coiffed blonde hair and designer suits, had been gunning for a promotion that Aisha was also in the running for. "She's only here because of diversity quotas," Karen would mutter in the break room, loud enough for Aisha to overhear but quiet enough to deny. Aisha tried to rise above it. She buried herself in work, delivering flawless presentations and innovative ideas that boosted the company's bottom line. But the isolation gnawed at her. Nights at home, she'd curl up on the couch, scrolling through old photos of happier times, wondering if she'd ever truly belong. What kept Aisha going was her husband, Marcus. They met in college, 2 ambitious souls who bonded over late-night study sessions and shared dreams of making it big. Marcus was her rock, tall, charismatic, with a laugh that could light up a room. But Marcus had a secret life, one he kept hidden even from Aisha at first. He wasn't just a successful entrepreneur, he was a billionaire tech mogul who had founded several startups under pseudonyms to avoid the spotlight. His latest venture? He'd quietly acquired Apex Innovations 6 months ago, planning to reveal himself only when the time was right. He wanted to surprise Aisha, to show her that their life together could be even more extraordinary. "One day, babe, we'll rule the world," he'd whisper, kissing her forehead. Aisha thought it was just sweet talk, not knowing the empire he was building in the shadows. The tension at work built like a storm cloud. A big client pitch was coming up, and Aisha had poured her heart into it. Her concept, a campaign celebrating diversity in tech, was groundbreaking, but Karen dismissed it as too woke. Whispers turned to outright sabotage. Files went missing from Aisha's desk, her ideas were accidentally leaked and claimed by others. Aisha confided in Sarah, who encouraged her to speak up, but fear held her back. "What if they fire me?" she'd say, her voice trembling. Deep down, Aisha knew she was reliving the same battles her mother had faced, being overlooked, undervalued, because of the color of her skin. It wasn't just about the job, it was about dignity, about proving she deserved to be there. Then came the day that shattered everything. It was a Friday afternoon, the office buzzing with end-of-week energy. Aisha was in the break room, grabbing a quick coffee before her final prep for the pitch. Karen and her crew sauntered in, giggling like schoolyard bullies. "Hey, Aisha," Karen called out, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "We were just talking about how refreshing you are." Before Aisha could respond, Mike popped open a can of Coca-Cola and, with a smirk, flung it right at her. The cold liquid exploded across her chest, soaking her from head to toe. Lisa joined in, tossing her own half-empty bottle, while Karen laughed hysterically. "Oops. Looks like you needed a shower anyway," Karen sneered. The room fell silent except for their cackles. Aisha stood there, frozen, the sticky soda seeping into her shoes. Humiliation burned hotter than any fire. Tears welled up, but she refused to let them fall. "Why?" she whispered, her voice breaking. "What did I ever do to you?" Word spread like wildfire. Colleagues peeked in, some shocked, others averting their eyes. Sarah rushed over, grabbing napkins to help clean up, whispering apologies. But Aisha couldn't take it. She grabbed her bag and bolted for the elevator, her heart pounding. In the lobby, she collapsed onto a bench, sobbing quietly. How could she go back? How could she face them? The racism she'd tried to ignore had boiled over into outright assault. She texted Marcus, "Bad day at work. Coming home early." Little did she know, Marcus was already on his way. He'd been planning to surprise her with lunch, but when he saw her message, his instincts kicked in. He rerouted his driver to Apex, his mind racing. As Aisha sat there, wiping her face, the elevator doors dinged open. Out stepped Marcus, impeccable in his tailored suit, exuding an aura of quiet power. Heads turned, whispers started. "Who's that?" someone murmured. Marcus scanned the lobby and spotted Aisha, his face hardening with fury as he took in her disheveled state. "Baby, what happened?" he asked, rushing to her side. Through tears, Aisha recounted the horror, the soda, the laughter, the years of subtle digs that led to this explosion. Marcus's jaw clenched. "Stay here," he said softly, kissing her forehead. "I'll handle this." Upstairs, the office was back to its false normalcy. Karen was at her desk, bragging about her prank to Mike and Lisa. The door to the executive suite burst open, and in walked Marcus, flanked by 2 security guards he'd called on the way up. The room went deathly quiet. "Who owns this company?" Marcus demanded, his voice like steel. Confused murmurs rippled through the crowd. The current CEO, oblivious to Marcus's true identity, stepped forward. "I do, sir. Can I help you?" Marcus pulled out his phone, displaying the acquisition papers. "Actually, I do. I'm Marcus Thompson, the silent owner of Apex Innovations. And effective immediately, anyone involved in harassing my wife is fired." Gasps echoed. Karen's face drained of color. "Your wife?" she stammered. Marcus nodded, his eyes cold. "Aisha Thompson. The woman you just humiliated. The one who's been carrying this company with her ideas while you played games." He turned to the HR director. "Pull the security footage. Now." The video played on the big screen, clear evidence of the assault. One by one, Karen, Mike, Lisa, and a few others who'd turned a blind eye were escorted out, their protests falling on deaf ears. The CEO, shocked but compliant, promised sweeping changes. Diversity training, zero-tolerance policies, and Aisha's promotion to lead the marketing team. Aisha, hearing the commotion, rode the elevator back up. She walked into applause from those who'd silently rooted for her, Sarah leading the cheers. Marcus pulled her into his arms. "You never have to fight alone again," he whispered. In the days that followed, Apex transformed. Aisha's campaign launched to rave reviews, propelling the company to new heights. She became a mentor, sharing her story to empower others facing similar battles. Marcus revealed his empire, and together, they started a foundation for underrepresented professionals in tech. But the real victory? Aisha found her voice. No longer shrinking to fit in, she stood tall, knowing her worth wasn't defined by others' prejudices. This story isn't just about revenge, it's about rising above hate with grace and strength. It's a reminder that justice can come swiftly, and that love, in all its forms, is the ultimate power. If Aisha's journey moved you, hit that like button to spread the inspiration, and subscribe to the channel for more stories of triumph over adversity. You never know, your story might be next.